Hello, guys, and welcome. Yo, Gab is in the chat over there, and Freddie Torres. Oh no, welcome, guys, to this show of Jess solo stream, but not really. Today with me, I have the wondrous old school skill. How are you, man?
I'm good. I don't know about wondrous. Still reporting in from the island of no Gunpla, but
Oh
things
man,
are changing. Things are changing.
things are taking a turn for the better. I hear somewhere, some there.
Yes, surprisingly, the world suddenly has decided to send all the shipments to the UK. So we're
Nice.
getting new shops suddenly popping up, and we're getting a lot more stock. So,
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to
so,
hear.
so it's all good. It's all
Mercenary.
good.
Mercenary, what up? Welcome, guys, to the stream today. We have a pretty cool topic. I mean, we always have cool topics, okay? This GTS, but today's topic is just a little bit more personal for everyone, and we're going to be taking turns reading everybody's. Well, I didn't tell you actually that old school. Are you okay with reading a little bit, or would you
I
want,
don't
or do you
know.
want me to read it?
Well, I'm totally fine with reading. Just bear in mind that I probably have the skills of a 4-year-old.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reading your stories, guys, on our Discord, over on the weekly submissions if there are any. If you haven't written up your story about how you started Gunpla, please do so right now so we can read them during the stream. If not, just share it on the chat, and we would be happy to read them through there as well, because that's what we do. This is, honestly, old school. I've been enjoying this format a lot more lately, just because I get to hang out with the chat, and it's all it is. It becomes a conversation with the chat as opposed to like.
I much prefer it because at least you get a nice feedback loop and you get topics as we go along.
Yep. So it becomes something super awesome to do with you guys. Mr. Blue Student, welcome to the chat. So yeah, I guess I mean, remember, guys, that today's stream is brought to you by USA Gundam Store. Use the code TALK10 down there to get some cool Gundam stuff from them. Definitely go hit him up. Adam is the nicest guy ever. But yeah, so we're gonna start off old school. I was thinking maybe you want to start off with the way that you began. I know that we probably rehashed this a couple of times before, but this is what the show is about today, right?
Oh, well, it's entirely up to you. I mean, I can give you the extended story or the short and easy one. Which would you prefer?
Since today's show is about that topic, I want the full story. I just want it all.
Okay, so here we go. Story time with OldSkill. Everyone sit down and get yourselves ready.
Okay.
Back in the day, I got heavily into Godzilla, Mecha, old school Mecha. And as an adult, never really got back into it. So the adult times become adult times, and I never got a chance to relive that. And then fortunately enough, I came upon a secondhand Megazord from Power Rangers.
Okay. Yeah.
And because it was secondhand, it was a little bit battered, a little bit used. And I thought, you know what? I need to go and try and add some paint back on, etc., etc. My research, discovered a wonderful thing called Gundam markers. At the time, I didn't have a bloody clue what that meant. It was just paint in a marker.
Yeah.
So use that to refresh up my Megazord. And then many years later, we're talking the summer of 2019, ended up going into a store to buy my son some Pokemon cards. And on the wall was a wonderful display of various boxes with lots of robots on. And at the time, I was like, those look cool.
Mm-hmm.
And my eye got slowly attracted to a lovely red box with an M1 Astray HG. At the time, I had no clue what an HG meant. I had no clue it was even a model kit. So I slapped it down along with my son's Pokemon cards, took it home, opened up the box and was like, oh, I have to build this. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So with my Gundam markers and a few bits that I had lying around, I built my first ever kit. And that is how it all began.
So it all began.
And after that, this is now where we are. A few years later, we've gone from building on the floor to dedicated desks and display units.
And where's what happened to that high grade, the Astray?
It's down there with all the other Astros. I'm not sure if I can shuffle by. There we go. All there is all my Astros.
Nice.
So it is down there along with all the other 6 of them and everything else.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So it basically just turned out to be kind of a accident that you fell into Gundam.
Yes,
by going with your son.
Yes, you can blame my son for wanting Pokemon cards as much as he did at the time. He still does in a way, but yeah.
I think I remember that your son still builds, right? Doesn't he have his own little one?
Yeah. He's got his own little backlog as well.
He's got starting them young.
No, it's that was his wish for last Christmas, was to have his he had a wish list of very specific Gundams he wanted. So I took a long time to try and source them. So he had the HG Sinanju, HG Sazabi, HG Banshee, HG Unicorn Full Armor. He wanted very specifically, and most recently he's wanted the Ground Gundam, the one from the backlog.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's got a nice little stack now. So keep him going for the rest of the year, I hope. So
Mr. Blue Student says that I'm an HG hater. I'm not, guys. I'm not a hater. Well, how does this begin? Like, all needs to happen is for me to say that I just prefer master grades. And now
but you do, Jess. You do hate HGs. I mean, I already heard you earlier saying HGs are for kids. That's why I buy them for my son.
Oh,
I heard you say that already.
It never stops. It never stops. No, high grades are great, and I think especially for people that are starting out, a high grade is super cool. I know that a lot of people tend to be scared of like master grades. I forgot who it was, but I knew someone that was scared of building master grades. I forgot who they were, but they used to tell us that they were scared of building a master grade kit, and I think eventually they did, and they were like, "Oh, this is not difficult." Right?
I had hit the same anxiety point as well. I had the same thing with the RG Sazabi. I put that off for ages because of the size box. Yeah, because at the time I was just building HGs, and then eventually I had the Shin Musha Gundam master grade, and I had that sit in a box for ages, and I refused to touch it. It took about a year before I got to it, and then same little thing. It's just like most things with the hobby. It's like you suddenly go, oh, once you try it, you go, oh, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah,
it's not that terrible, and you just carry on.
It isn't. Real quick, Mercenary says, my local shop was right about Bandai building more domestic factories. The third one is already in the works of being built, with the fourth one on the way.
Yep. It's going to be good news in a couple of years. Still, I think it's 2024. I think they said it will be up and running.
Yeah, so, it's still going to take some time. So it'll take a bit for us to see the fruits of their labor. For right now, we must. I don't know. I say we, and I haven't bought a kit in so long. So I haven't felt that yet, but I'm sure I will soon enough. Like, I was talking to one of our awesome sponsors, Gundam Hanger, because he gets stock on P Bandai occasionally, right? And all I really want are GM master grades. Fair. Even though he tells me that the HG line has so many more variants, I don't care. I want the master grade version of them, right? Yeah, because I hate high grades, right?
Yep.
And I just
keep telling them.
I'm just gonna keep telling you guys that I hate them. But yeah, I mean, some of them aren't even in stock still, and they're so hard to find. You know, like I really want the master grade Jesta cannon and the Shazar type.
Oh yes, I would love that giant gun and the little scope.
Yes, okay, yes, that's what I was gonna say. That's like the main reason I wanted, is because of that. And I know some people out there would be like, just buy a regular Jesta and build it yourself. But I still
the
want
detail
it.
That's already on there. It's like
I just want it. It's so cool looking, man. It's so cool. But yeah, no, I think eventually I'll hit the part where I'll see like I can't buy everything. But the point is, like, unfortunately, there's a lot of kits that I just don't want, which I think is good too, right? So my money
is good. I would argue that is a good thing if you are selective. It's one thing when you kind of go, right, I'm going to buy everything and not have a need for it. But if you want it, then it's much more special to you.
For sure, for sure. Master grades don't intimidate me at all. As my first kit ever I built was an MG Delta Plus. I did a review on that. That kit is terrible. I would say it would be a terrible kit for a first build.
I was going to say you're going in the deep end with the difficulty level. Wow.
Yeah, you're going to a terrible transformable kit. It's so terrible. Like the shortcomings of that kit are just all based on a transforming gimmick, and you see that a lot with kits that are transformable. Their downfall is the fact that they're transformable because they have to cut so many ends or so many corners just to make that thing as transformable as it is. But the thing is, like, the Delta Plus is such a cool looking design.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
No end. Well, I literally have just finished building another Zeta, and I love the ability that Bandai have got to create this technical marvel of putting this plastic together that is transformable. But it just makes the actual stability and the actual usage of the kit absolutely terrible. Like it drops it. They look amazing though, and I will never transform mine.
Never.
But it will just be. It's one of those things of like, it's kind of one of those things that I would argue that for especially Zeta kits, they should be metal frame, like to just withstand the whole gimmick idea that they've got. The doing it on plastic, I just think is just it's asking for trouble.
What I'd love to see is for them to do a Delta or a what's it called, or a Zeta or a double Zeta without the transforming gimmick anywhere in their mind.
Yep.
Just give me a solid kit. Like, obviously, I can move it around and pose it, but just do it without the transforming thing as one of your priority. I would absolutely love it. Like the double Zeta Verkai, I think, is one of those kits that's super underrated and people don't talk about a lot. And I think it's one of the best. Now, I may be biased because it's the first Verkai I've ever built in my life. But I still think that as cool as it is, you try to stand that guy up and it feels a little flimsy, but it's because it's built to be transformed. So it's not as solid as it could be. So
bugs me no end.
Yeah, it's terrible. Noble Mecha, what's up? Mercenary says I already built that MG twice. I think he's talking about the Delta.
It's that. Where is it? That whole split at the bottom.
Yeah,
that is awful. So even now, just doing that, there's no way I'm putting that back on without some actual concentration. So I'm just gonna have to lay there until I can figure that out. Yeah.
J-Tron says, after building a resin kit, nothing else really scares me. What I want is a Carmelo. Why are you talking about the Carmelo? I'm pretty sure that's the one. Isn't that the cursed Gundam that I mentioned? I was mentioned. Carmelo Gundam. I'm looking this up real quick. Yeah, I'm immediately closing that tab because I saw it and it's cursed. Yeah, no, the resin kit. I haven't played with resin yet. I'm excited to though. I have some stuff coming in. Resin. Well, actually, I have resin from what Ryan Lau sent me for the new Gundam Verka, the conversion. But I haven't touched it. Like, I know that I have to wash it. I have to do so much to do. Man, it's scary.
Yeah. You have to set aside a good while and a few days.
The thing is, there's so much left to do, right? Like, guys, we're gonna get to the origin story still, okay? We're just, this is how conversation flows, okay, guys? I'm sorry. But there's so much more to do in this office space. Like, now, I used to have a desk here with the light. I have a controller. So our cool editor Brian found this for me. So it's this awesome light, and like you can dim it. Gets pretty dim. See,
that's nice.
And it could go like even like at levels. Like you can just click it down a little bit. But so there's supposed to be a desk down here, but this desk has now become my wife's desk with her PC. So that's why we need to go to IKEA so I can finish my building. Yeah, my whole studio. Like I just, it needs to happen. Yo, Wilson, you didn't miss anything yet. Not yet. I mean, well, yes, actually you did. you missed Old School Skills, super cool story on how he fell upon into the hobby by total mistake, going to get some Pokemon cards and then walking out with the Gundam.
Yeah, crazy story. You'd have to rewind to find it.
Well, that's the cool part. You could do that. It's YouTube.
Yep.
Needs more RGB. Weren't we just talking about that, Old School?
Yep.
My wife wants to buy the Gobi lights, the corner light,
yes.
and also the things like either nano leaves or whatever, and put them up here.
Yeah. And once you get that hooked up to your home, and you start shouting around the house, I'll change it to purple, change the green.
I shit you not. She gets off at work at 11, and she's like, "I'm gonna get home, and all I'm gonna do is play on my computer now."
Nice.
And I'm like, "Okay, you do you. That's why it's there now. You can do whatever you want."
It's an excellent distraction technique while you carry on with what you need to do.
But Freddie, I did turn off the what's it called, the Rainbow Bomb. It's all white right now on my PC. So there it is. It's all white. So
beauty. It's beautiful.
No more RGB. But anyway, guys, speaking of transforming kits, I'm gonna go with my story real quick, and then we're gonna go read some on Discord. But I don't know if I've ever really explained how I got into the hobby.
I was gonna say I really want to hear the long story version of this one.
Because guys, I've never been interviewed in my life, so there's a lot of stuff you guys don't know about me. Basically, it wasn't by accident, but it was. So when my wife and I were here in Canada, I mean, we are, right? We used to go to the mall all the time before COVID began. So this was not way before, but this was like 6 months before COVID began. We used to go to the mall, and we would go into EB Games because my wife and I like playing video games, and my wife loves playing video games. Like, if there's anything she likes more than playing video games, it's probably sleeping, right? And I'm like in third rank, so it's like sleeping, video games, no, probably food, and then me. So maybe I'm fourth.
Right,
and so
it's top 5. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm still there. Top 10. Top 10. And so we would go into EB Games looking for games for her to buy or whatever. And EB Games over here, I don't know if you guys have EB Games over there in the UK. It's kind of like GameStop.
We used to have EB. It got taken over by a game. I think it was in Game Station, if I remember rightly. But yeah, this is way back in the day. We're talking like early 90s. But EB Games did exist at some point. Well,
you know how like a gaming store doesn't just have games; it has like little toys and little figurines. And basically, so the point is, I don't want to take too much time. So I always feel bad when I talk about myself on stream.
No, go for it. We want to hear the story.
Basically, we would go in there and we would always see the Gundam on the shelves. And to be honest with you guys, I had never watched Gundam in my life, like before that. Maybe I think once, but I just always really loved the mechanical side of things. I've always loved that, like just the robots, like the anime looking robots, right? That's what I used to call them.
So was it always the same Gundam in there, or was it just the various every time you went in there?
It was always the same Gundam on the shelf. Always the same one.
Teasing you every time. Okay.
Every time we went in there. And my wife and I, at that time, we didn't have a lot of money to spend, right? Like, we didn't have a lot of anything. So whenever we see it, we'd want to buy it. But it would, if we bought it, it would be like, okay, can we actually buy this? And it was only $56. And we were like, well, can we take that hit? And it would always wait. And there was another kit that was always next to that Gundam, which was the Grace or the Gross. I don't know how you guys say it, from IBO, the 1100. Gross or Grace, which is now difficult to find.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so both of those were on the shelf, and so we went in there.
One that actually was there. What was the gun that actually was teasing you?
So that's why I said transforming kits, right? The one Gundam that was always teasing me, and I always wanted to buy, was the Gundam Wing TV Colors Master Grade.
Wow. Was it the wings that got you, or was it the color?
It was just the color. I just really liked how it looked. I was like, this is super cool. Like, I want it. I know I'll probably have to build it, but I used to do I did a little bit of plastic modeling back when I was a little kid, right? With my dad, like a military helicopter, I remember, and a plane, I think. And but I was really into Lego, so to me it was like kind of a step up.
Yeah.
And I just, we went in there one day and we bought it. But my wife, I will say this, my wife always told me, and if she was here, but I think she's not listening right now because she's at work. She told me, she's like, we should get the other one.
Oh,
the Grace, the Gross. She's like, we should get the other one because it looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool. And I was like, no. Let's get the Wing Gundam, right? And so what we ended up doing is buying that kit. And I swear to you, old school, we got home, and with the box cutter, we built that thing in one night.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about.
Nubs and all.
Yeah,
like the kid
and you love it like your first child. Like,
I love it. I mean, it's not up here right now because I had to like take some things down when I moved to the office over here. But it is 100% still. It still exists with all the nubs. I haven't cleaned it. I haven't done anything to it. It's there as a statement. Of what happens. And like we built it in one night, and I was so happy with it. I was taking pictures of it. I was putting it like on top of our Xbox and our PlayStation and taking photos of it in front of the TV and shit. And I was like, man, this is super cool. Like I really liked doing it. She's like, yeah, it's super cool. We should get more. And even if she was here, she would tell you guys like how her and I nowadays, sometimes like we're sitting here in our office and we look at that Gundam, which again, it's not here right now, but we would look at it, and she and I would just be like, because of this one thing.
Yep.
We have all of this, and when we know all of this people, and that's the first thing I always think about is like, holy shit, like this one kit, this one plastic model, these $56.
Yep.
Are
your entire
it's one of the best. Yeah, it's one of the best investments I have ever made.
Yeah.
And then right after that, like I was like, okay, we need to watch some Gundam stuff, and the first thing we watched was IBO because it was on Netflix. It was the most accessible thing for us, and we just watched all of that. And then luckily, since that happened in November of 2019, in December we finished watching IBO the first week of December because we watched like in 3 days, all two seasons.
Nice. Yep.
And it just so happened that the Barbatos Master Grade was being released here in North America in December
2019, wasn't it? Jeez.
In December of 2019, here in North America.
Jeez.
And my wife pre-ordered it for me as a Christmas gift.
Wow.
And that was one of my first Master Grades, was the Barbatos. And it's still, one of my favorites.
Amazing gift.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Well, she's always been freaking. I know, like this has just kind of turned into like me fawning over my wife, but I mean, come on, guys.
That's your wife. You got
she's just always been like the coolest. Like I think for my birthday, literally after a month after the Barbatos, we went to a store and she just bought me the new Gundam Real Grade. So I've been spoiled since the beginning of this hobby.
Oh, for sure.
With like the cool, best kits Bandai has put out at that time, and it's awesome, dude. She has been absolutely the catalyst of everything that I've done, right? But yeah, Gundam has brought us together, and it has brought so many cool people into my life. And but yeah, that's how I began the hobby. That's why I always tell you guys, I didn't start the hobby wanting to become popular or anything. It's just, it all started with one fucking little Gundam from EB Games. The best $56 I ever spent.
So out of curiosity then, outside of obviously digging into Gundam and then finding IBO, I assume that your first attempt to research is where you stumbled upon It's a Gunpla.
Yeah.
Was that your first Virgin experience, or was it somebody else?
My first experience with Gundam on YouTube or any media, it was two people. It was It's a Gunpla, or It's a Gundam, of course. But I met him through It's a Gunpla. I didn't meet him through It's a Gundam channel. That was him and Saintism.
Ah, okay.
That's why when I started GTS and meeting those guys was such a big thing for me, because even till this day, there are people that I revere and I just respect, because their view on the hobby have molded the person that I am today within the hobby. And just being, I obviously I can't take what Saintism has taught me through his blog on his page. I can't take it and copy it, and I can't. The only person that I've really tried to kind of take things away from has been It's a Gunpla, because of how big of a inspiration he has been to me with the whole conversation and having a straight, honest conversation, right? And of course, this is not to put anybody else that I've met ever down, right? In the sense that I don't revere you guys, but
this is
those
your
two,
origin. These
two guys were the ones to like really fuel my want to get into the hobby. And don't even get me started in how lucky I was that in January of 2020 is when I stumbled across Justin from Studio G, and he only had like I think 300 followers on Instagram, or not even, and we were just starting out together, and we became friends. And he had 32 subscribers on YouTube, and him and I just started talking. And he sent me the ring light that's powering my face right now. Is a ring light that Justin bought me like a couple of weeks after him and I met. He's like, dude, I'm gonna send you a ring light so you can take some cool pictures. And he taught me so many things, and then. And I mean, obviously now he's busy, right? Of course, he has shaped the hobby in some way, but it's just so cool. Like it's like, I don't know. I just had the fortune to meet all of these cool people and kind of
a wonderful beginning journey.
Yeah,
especially
I can't
get here now.
Well, even like I always say it, like I know, fuck, dude, I say it all the time, and I feel like a broken record. But the best part of this hobby has always been the people, and it's the main part. Like I haven't built in a while, right? I have to actually build because of the high grade build that we have going on, which I haven't written a lot of things yet, guys. I've been so busy with work, but like I haven't done anything other. But the thing that I have done is communicated with people. It's still something that I do. Is just message you guys, and this is why I always like coming on streaming if I haven't built in a while, just hanging out with you guys. It's not because I'm hoping to make.
So out of curiosity, then, if you were starting with a box cutter, what did you do next? What invoked you to get something else, like tool wise? That is.
Holy.
Was it a new kit, or was it actually? You know what? This box cutter isn't cutting it.
No, so I wanted, guys, I'm gonna get to all of your things that you guys have written on the chat. Just give me a second. So one of the things that happened, I think his name is Subi Gunpla. I was not planning on buying nippers, but my wife and I did buy nippers. We just wanted the proper tools. So the Barbatos, the Master Grade Barbatos I built with some shitty ass like $3 nippers that I bought. So in my mind, I was never about buying God hands or anything. I didn't care about those things. I just wanted to have at least some proper tools to do something. And then Gunpla Subi, I'm almost sure that's his name, Gunpla Subi. And I probably still have the message on my phone, on my Instagram. He hit me up way early when I was like 100 followers in. And he's like, hey man, I'm sponsored by Vault-Can. And they sent me some nippers, and he told me to find some cool people to send the nippers to, and I want to send you some. And I'm like, whoa, why do you want to send me some? Like, how much do I have to pay you? He's like, nothing. You don't have to pay me anything. He's like, just give me your address and I'll send them over. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. And without any problem, like 2 weeks later, I open up my mail and there's some nippers waiting for me, and those have been my go-to nippers. I don't own God hand nippers.
Yep.
I own Display nippers, but those I've given those to my wife, and I've given the other nippers that I've gotten from Display to my friends. I haven't kept any nippers, and those are my go-to nippers. Those are the only nippers that I use. They haven't rusted, they haven't broken, and you guys know how many kits I have built up to this point. They are the best nippers without a hand that I have ever used. And it was just that. But I mean, wanting to get good at building and buying more tools happened by watching It's a Gundam, wanting to get to that level. And then obviously, like I started GTS with Justin and Chris, like I think in March of 2020. So then all of a sudden being surrounded by all these people that I was talking to who were in another league.
Imagine that boosts you.
That boosted me. I was like, holy shit, like this isn't just some kid thing. Like you can actually be really, really awesome, right? And there's just so many people that have really pushed me to want to do things. Like one of the things I haven't done lately or I haven't done ever, except for maybe the review video on the LEDs, are LEDs. I haven't done them, and I'm trying to save that part of me for Evan's LEDs and to to support my boy James, because like I watch his videos every time he puts them out, Which, by the way, the next video that he's going to come out with, obviously I haven't seen it because it's not there yet, but I think he announced it to everybody what he's working on, his kit bash for Titanfall.
Yep.
That thing is going to be
that's going to be
fucking
amazing.
sick, dude. That's going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait. But yeah, no, that's the way that kind of goes, old school. Like, it's just, I feel like this hobby for me was never it was never a solitary hobby for me from the beginning. Never, ever.
Well,
like,
my wife,
like
it. You've been like constantly collaborating the whole way through since the beginning, whether it's with your wife or anybody else.
Yeah. My wife has literally been my best friend the whole time. So she's literally been every time I finish something or I finish a kit, I'm like, look, honey, look how cool it is. Look at this. Yeah. She's like, yes, babe. And you're like, okay, yeah, I've seen them. They're all cool. So yeah, that's kind of how life has gone. But
so would you ever feel you want to buy another wing and do version 2 now?
I don't think so, because I don't think I'm there. I don't think I'd do anything different. I just
still build it and just look at it
and just look at it. Yeah.
I
haven't done it because like I've had the chance to, but I don't see a reason to. Like, that thing, I think it's just untouchable. I don't think I could ever buy another one for as much as I might want to.
Yeah,
I never could because of what that single unique original means to me. It means so much. Like, it really is a life changer. Like, GTS has become such a big part of my life for such a long time that it's created friendships and ended friendships because of it. Like, that it's such a big thing in my life that that there exists as a symbol of what you can do with this hobby. Yeah. Even if I'm not like rich off of it, which I've never planned to be, right? Just like the connections and the social.
Yeah, but it's the enjoyment that you've done. You've always got that to look back on, and you can always envision that in that kit.
Yep, 100%. But real quick, I'm gonna read what people have said real quick. Noble Mecha said earlier, if they can make them like how Hasbro used to make them, make the metal Transformer toys, they would be solid kits.
Yep.
So I think he's talking about the transformable kits. And then Jtron says, I don't mind them bringing back screws.
Yes, having recently done the old Mark II PG, I would love to see more screws.
So he says, Freddy said needs more RGB. We already talked about that. Jtron says, no man is prepared for dealing with an IKEA. Bandai is making a second factory, so that might alleviate the shortage. Then Mercenary says, EB Games was where I got Warcraft 3 Collector's Edition back in 2000s for 44 USD.
Bring it back.
They used to be cool, but not so much under current management. Yeah, they're all right now. But I don't think a lot of people go in to buy video games physically anymore. Unfortunately, is how.
I do miss that though. The physical, tangible nature of going into a shop and getting a big box with a big manual in. The smell of a fresh manual, it doesn't happen anymore. You do digital these days.
Yeah.
Click buy, that's it, done.
Looking at the manual, just reading through the manual while you're going home. Back seat, reading the back of the case.
Yep. Yeah.
Despite reading it like 10 times over, and you're like, there's got to be something I missed, and still feeling excited.
Yeah. No. Again, this is where like in general, model kits and hobby kind of bring back that nostalgia of opening up a box, pulling out a manual, and just having that fresh smell. You don't get that with games anymore.
Nope. It's kind of gone now. So I think Noble said, and my mother and uncle being anime nerds as well brought me an MG Zaku as my first kit, and I built it too fast. So that's how he started.
Built it too fast. Wow.
Jtron, that second factory is already running and it's already reached max capacity. So now a third is being built with the fourth on the way. Thank you again. Mercenary. Otaku Builders. Oh, hey, James was in the chat the whole time. Oh, lovely story. Thanks, man. Thanks. Jtron says more profitable than I imagined. Robert 184 was what got me into Gunpla. And then Rusty's in chat. What up? What's up, Rusty?
Oh.
Hope you're well. Tron says, was amazed at how Gunpla advanced since the days of early 2000s HGs.
Yes.
Shit, in the early 2000s, master grades were HGs, man.
Yeah, it is shocking, like the advancement when you kind of go backwards, and
Yeah.
even looking back even 5 years,
Yeah.
like the changes in tech is very, very impressive. I mean, even you take a look at like the Master Grade X here, and now we've got all the rest of the other double O kits now, and the difference between that in the same series just from years is no, I've always loved advancing tech, so just hopefully I'm here in another 10 years to see the rest of it.
Oh, you will, man. You will. I mean, I hope that with the advent of double O, like good double O kits, except the Curious, just I hope that Bandai takes a look at that and it's like, okay, maybe we should do a Quant Full Saver 2.0 just for Jess. That's the only thing I asked for.
That would be awesome.
That's the only thing I asked for when it comes to remaking a kit. Because there's a lot of other things I want to ask for, Bandai, so hit me up. And then, so anyway, we're going to go over to... you guys can't look at that because that is... you guys can actually see that. So we're going to go over here to what is... here we are. We're already here. So...
Excellent.
We're in weekly topic submissions if there are any. My dumb names. Okay, so I asked a question. Like, how did you guys begin the hobby? Let me know. We're gonna read about them. And here we go. Weekly topic submissions. So DDK20 started everything out. He said, I had watched the Gundam series and was interested in getting Gunpla, but pulled the trigger on getting a kit until I saw. Actually, let me put this away over here. Until I saw the Evangelion Mecha Godzilla. So I prepped myself by getting the RG New Sasabi and Unicorn.
What an interesting stepping. Evangelion Mecha Godzilla and a Sasabi.
Yeah.
What a unique step.
But he never got it though.
Oh yeah. Just read that. Wow.
Yeah. So he just prepped himself by building some of the coolest real grades ever. And just completely bailed on the Evangelion Mecha Godzilla.
Never mind.
Awesome. So, my question to you, DDK20, would be: was it the Godzilla or the Evangelion of the Godzilla that got you, that made you want to get it? There has to be something, unless it's both of them. Because, I don't know. It's funny though.
One as well, but I decided to go paint my own.
You have one, don't you? Or is it Noble?
No. When I saw the price tag for one of them, I was like, nah, I don't know if I want to spend that much on a model kit. And that's when I got the Machine Drum on instead, with the intention of making it into an Ava.
Yeah. Okay. So for model kits, so Gunpla Exile, aka Squirrel, says, I've always loved the Gundam series, and I was getting into Gunpla at the start of last year. So I decided to buy some kits. My first kit was the HG, the Origin Zaku. That's a great fucking kit to start off with. Which is why it's one of my favorite kits of all time. Before that, I occasionally did some custom painting on toys, models, etc., but never anything too major.
Nice.
That's very cool.
A good one to get into. Excellent one.
It's a great kit to get into. I wish I would have known about high grade the Origin kits when I first began.
Yeah, no, same. There's a lot of HGs that I think I've procured over the years that I've kind of gone, yeah, I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, it's like
used up my time frame on that one.
Yeah. You see, it's not that they're bad. It's not that I hate them. It's just that, well, at least when you get a master grade, there's you're. I don't want to say a guarantee because there are some terrible master grades out there, but there's that, like, at least. Even if it's bad, at least the size saves it a little bit, I feel.
Yeah, I kind of feel that there's a bit of a disconnect with a lot of the what's on the box to what you get in the box with HGs.
Yeah.
Because you get it with the idea of, oh, this is going to look amazing. And then you put it together and you go, why is that not that color?
Yeah.
Why does that not look like that on the box? Whereas with master grades, I kind of feel you do kind of get what's on the box is in the box. There is a lot more sort of closer thing to it. So it's just one of those things that I feel, well, I like HGs for the amount of like extra work you can do with them, but I think it is one of those things, if you're getting into it, there is a bit of a disconnect versus what you see versus what you get.
For sure. I couldn't agree more. I think that happens a lot more with HGs, like you said, because the thing that you see with HGs in the front or in the side of the box is always the finished product with some top coat and
the painting.
decals.
There's always some painting. Yeah.
There's always something there that makes it look super cool, which, hey, if you do that, great. But then you put it together and you're like, oh,
yeah,
what the hell is
this? Is missing something. Yeah.
Yeah. And it happens with master grades too, but not at that level, I feel.
Yeah.
It's not as deceptive. So come at me, Bandai. All right. So area. So do you also want to read some?
I was going to say, do you want me to take this one? See, it's a big long one.
Yeah, for sure. Right, go for it, man.
So for area, he says, or she says, for model kits in general, I got started young. The movie Days of Thunder had license kits for the movie's hero cars, the City Chevrolet, the Superflow, the Hardy Exxon, and the Mellow Yellow. Being far too young to understand the more adult themes of the film made me an easy target for all the marketing, so I begged my parents for the build kits. They were, of course, far too complex for me to do alone at that age, so the neat thing was we did it as a family over the summer.
Aww.
Later on, I was allowed to do snap build kits that didn't require glue or paint. That is a good thing with back in the day, is the requirement of glue and paint. I think we always forget about that.
Yeah, people.
So fast forward years later, I'm a huge anime nerd. A guy in our friend group got us all hooked on Robotech, Voltron, and Dragon Ball. When Toonami got round to showing Gundam Wing, I was working at a toy store that picked up on the hype and carried the no-grade wing kits in 144 and 1100. I built at least built each one at least once. One to play with and one to try to modify the hell out of. Wow, diving in the deep end. When C came out, the store tried to carry those kits. However, the kit had minimal colourless separation and almost no articulation to speak of. I remember trying an ashtray frame that was just solid white with only forward and backwards movement in the shoulders. It was a brick. I ended up falling out of the hobby here, thinking the kit quality declined. Didn't help that college was sucking up a lot of my time anyways. Let's do a time skip again to mid-late 2010s, and I find myself watching Build Fighters. I know there's a bit of contention over the Build series tone against the Gundam franchise as a whole. Build is and continues to be straight up Saturday morning cartoon, and I'm here for it. Especially in a time when every other show ends up being grimdark. I found a few local hobby shops that sold Gunpla, and here I am back in the thick of it. And too long did it read is I'm a sucker for toy marketing from a young age.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
For when you're young, that's how they get you.
Yeah, that's
how they get you.
Hits me in the nostalgia. You know, the good old adverts. I mean, it still cracks me up that back in the day that when I was a kid that there was toy advertisements for RoboCop and Terminator, which were like 18 rated films that as a kid you'd never be able to see, but here's all the toys. So
here's a nice little scene from RoboCop.
Exactly.
To play out when RoboCop becomes RoboCop and he gets shot like a million times. Like, oh, one of the most over the top scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. But I think we all kind of went through that. I mean, every young person is this, is kind of, made, they're easy targets for the, Transformers movies, Yu-Gi-Oh, anything, When I was a kid, Yu-Gi-Oh was huge, and I had to get myself the dual disc.
Oh geez. Wow.
So I begged my dad for it, and I got it, and I had so many cards, and just anything that I saw on TV as a kid, I wanted to have something of it. And I remember back then, remote control cars were huge. I don't know if they still are as big as they were when I was a kid, but like I had so many remote control cars. I was lucky. I think I was very fortunate to have a pretty nice childhood in that sense that my dad bought me a lot of things.
Very, very fortunate.
But getting like remote control cars and just buying those was the top of, like, I was never. The thing is, I was never an anime guy, even from a
Mm.
young age. I just really liked toys and Legos. Like I had so many Legos, it was crazy. Like I just always want something that's. I don't know. I think it happens, and I'm glad that I'm glad that he
So were you
reminded me
more
of
of a
that.
cartoon guy, or was that not just your thing at all?
No. So I watched cartoons like
Mm.
SpongeBob and Fairly Odd
Yeah,
Parents and all of that, and I saw a couple of animes when I was young. I think the anime that I remember the most when I was young was Rurouni Kenshin Samurai X.
Oh wow, yeah.
So that's always been one of my favorites. I know everybody probably now thinks that Cowboy Bebop is my favorite of all time, which hey, I don't blame you, but it's up there with Samurai X. You know, Himura Batasai is one of my is just one of my favorite characters of all time. In fact, I think Gunpla Exile has his profile picture of as Kenshin. This profile picture right here, guys, this is Kenshin. I'm almost sure. That is, yeah, that's 100% Kenshin. I've seen that wallpaper everywhere. That is Kenshin 100%. Anyway, so yeah, so that's cool. Thank you for reminding us of that area of when we were kids and everything we saw on TV we wanted. It's just everything. It didn't matter. All right, so we're gonna go on to Magic Mike, who says, "I'll take this one.
All
I'll take Channing Tatum." Early 2020, COVID hits, got bored, built an HG 00 Diver Ace and an RG Astray Red frame. Got hooked, turned my room into a warehouse. Mid 2020, started painting and never stopped. Built a small painting studio in my garage. 2021, started doing LEDs. Mid 2021, started taking photographs more seriously, turned what's left of my room into a small photo studio and invested in lights. Scribing soon followed and started doing commissions for other people shortly after that. PS, sent help, running out of ceiling. And he sent some pictures that he's running out of ceiling and all the kits that he's created. I love every single one of you guys, but Magic Mike's story is one of my favorites because I remember when he first began, the amount of fucking tags that I would
Yep.
be on for his things. Like I don't know, you know what's the thing, Mike? If you're when you're watching this. Some people can't get away with that. Some people like will tag, like I know like there's some people out there who just tag the shit out of other people and they just get blocked immediately, right? But there was something about you, man. And I remember this was around the time that James became a friend of GTS's, and he would also tag James, and James would always go over and check out his stuff, and I would always see a comment, and you just kind of grew into our hearts, Mike, and you're one of the coolest people, and I love seeing how far you've grown as a person, and as a model builder. Photo equipment costs around 47 USD. Being using a phone cam ever since. Hey, I that's all I use is phone cameras.
That's a job.
It's the only thing I ever use. But yeah, just nice to
He does
know.
amazing work with it.
Yeah, he does. A lot of people, well, yeah, because in the early days, all of his photos used to tell you exactly what camera he had.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
it had the little watermark.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm telling you, dude, we remember all of this shit. But it's just nice to see. It's crazy to even think how much of Gundam takes over your life, that you invest into like its own space. Like you were talking about that earlier, OldSkill, how that just became its own space, huh?
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. I think I don't think I've ever. I mean, I think it is as well down to a lot of things with timing, but I think the last couple of years of, I don't know, I kind of feel. I don't know what the best way to probably put it, not peer pressure, but just this collective group of wonderful community of egging everybody on to buy more kits, get more resin, you need more tools. I think it is lovely and it's wonderful, but it is one of those things of, it has grown not only mentally, but physically.
For sure. Backlogs are not a joke, guys. They exist. Speaking of backlogs, real quick, I'm going to go into the chat just to read what people have said. Reborn 100s today are basically retro master grades. That's what Jay Trong says. I couldn't agree more. Mercenary BDU says MG Curios is solid except for the connection for the claw shield to the arm. I respectfully disagree. I think the whole kit is terrible. I have seen it. I have held it in my hands. I think it's a terrible kit. I personally, I loved I mean, you guys know for a fact I love the Dynamis. I absolutely love the Dynamis. And the Virtue is such a great kit as well. I'm not speaking about the Nadley with the ugly ass red cable hair things that it has. But the Virtue is just an amazing kit, solid. And then and I'll even go as far to say as the Quant Full Saver is just the original, which is like actually in this corner. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's over here. That one over there is one of the best kits I've ever built. And then just the Curious comes out of nowhere with the shitty pointy knees, and just it feels so loose and shit.
I will have to agree with you on that one. Yeah, the knees put me off completely. So there's something about that doesn't seem right with me.
And do you know why it's a shit double O kit, despite it being built in the era of the Dynamis? Because it's got a transforming fucking gimmick.
Yeah,
that is why it is a terrible kit. It's a terrible kit.
One day they'll give us 2 options in a box. Yeah, here's how to build it solid. Here's how to build it transformable.
If they were to do that, like, okay, look, I get it. Okay, the cost would be exponential because Bandai charges you on the name of Gundam, right? They charge you for the name of Gundam, and then they charge you for the amount of plastic in the box.
I'd argue this is where P Bandai comes in. Hell, I'd give me a P Bandai solid form version of all the transformable kits. There we go. Job done.
There you go. Thank you. If at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to end up buying 2 fucking kits if I want to present them both ways. If I'm that person, might as well just be the solid version of one and the solid version of the other. Don't cut corners to give me a shit kit.
Yeah, if you're gonna use P Bandai to give me just color swaps, use it to give me more plastic.
I'm sorry, Mercenary. I love you, man, but I can't agree with you. He says the transformation for Curios wasn't that awful compared to the Zeta 2.0. The Zeta 2.0 is how old compared to the Curios? And then it extends further. It extends further into even the MG. What was that one called? The one that we just talked about. The one that I did review, and I just completely blanking on the name.
Oh,
the transforming kit.
Zeta?
No, not the Zeta. It's the one that looks like it's all pointy. I literally did a review on it. And I can't remember the name. I'm terrible. But I absolutely love it.
The Eclipse.
The Eclipse. The Eclipse is a great kit, except for the fact that it's a transformable kit. And that kit came out a few months ago. Or like 6 months ago. And it still would benefit from not being able to transform. If Bandai had to completely design that kit around a solid base instead of a transformable kit, it would be even more of 100% of a better kit.
We can only hope.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just so passionate about how terrible those things are. God. But I respect your opinions, guys. Even though you're wrong. Okay. I love you guys. So wait, actually let me open up the chat from YouTube over here because you guys typed a lot. Derek says, "Oh, Derek, welcome, man. You're supposed to be here, Derek. One of these days, you have to come back and on the live show. But anyway, RC is still huge. Lots of quadcopters. You know what I always wanted? I always wanted a remote control boat.
Yes, actually, yeah. The only thing is that I know when the time frame when I wanted it, I'd have only ever used it in the bathtub.
So
that'd have been about it.
For me, I always wanted a RC boat because I grew up in Chicago and we had Lake Michigan right across the street, and I always envisioned, having a little boat, and I just never got it. But now that I'm an adult, I'm gonna get a damn boat.
There you go.
And by God, I'm gonna put a little high grade on there as a captain.
Nice, go for it. Get a little water decal. Put your little name your boat as well.
I'm gonna name it Jenny. All right. Next one. Jtron says, recently got the MG Gundam 3.0, ground type GM Sniper, and a Reborn 100 Lindworm. These will be fun projects to work with. Yeah, for sure, man. Noel Mecca, on my way to work, so I'll just watch the vid tomorrow. Aw, no bull. Good luck at work, man. Mercenary says, transformation. Yeah, work hard, play hard. The transformation for Curios wasn't that awful compared to the Zeta 2.0. 2005 release for the Zeta 2.0. It's just a different ballpark. It was shit then. Transforming kits are shit now. I'm sorry, guys. You guys might hate me for this. That's what I believe. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. The Zeta 2.0 is actually stable.
Oh, well,
How about my Delta Plus? I don't have the Delta Plus. The Delta Plus, Sean got to keep, and even that kid is. And we were talking about it earlier, right?
Yeah, I can't stand behind the Zetas. They're wonderful to look at. Just absolute stability. Just doing anything with them. I mean, I demonstrated earlier, and that's brand new, out the box built.
Yeah, he literally grabbed the Zeta and like, oh, gone. Just stability completely gone because of that one gimmick on there. Double Zeta Verka is solid no matter what. I agree to a certain degree because I have that kit and I know for a fact that I have to do a lot to keep it standing up properly, and I know that I built that guy pretty well. Stay dangerous. Got to make dinner now. Bon appetit, mercenary BDU, and Derek is laughing because of the Delta Plus thing. The Delta Plus is such a cool looking kit. It's such a cool looking design.
Yeah, just won't stand up.
Exactly. Like all you have to do is like, you know what? Like you should work for Bandai Old School, because that one idea that you had right now where it's like P Bandai solid kits, they'd be like, oh, we can just milk this as well.
The problem is I'd make them bankrupt. That's the problem. Is all my ideas are what we'd want, I'd argue. Make more plastic. Keep pushing out the stuff that we want to see. Rather than fighting out another transformable kit.
For sure, yeah.
I'm sure whatever next one, Master Grade, will probably be another one.
Yep.
We'll get a Zeta 3.0 that still somehow uses the same inner frame as the 2.0.
Still transformable, still shit, still.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so if you want to read your fellow nameless
let
one.
me dig in. Oh, Kathy. Kathy says she started in the 80s as a kid with all sorts of models, including Railway, Hornby, and Duplo. Fast forward to 2000, and I saw a model railway exhibition and bought some magazines. Yes, guys, back then that's what you did, and started building a layout. I also did odd kits that caught my fancy, such as the Mac, Transformers, Halo, Military, etc. I had seen Gundam models around, but they had made no sense. But over lockdown, I watched Gundam the original series and bought some kits. And I actually did find an RG Zagok in my stash, so obviously bought that years ago. So yeah, I do. I remember the good old days of Hornby and Duplo. That was a big thing back in the day. Or railway kits, and I know as well with Kathy, she especially has got like a whole entire space dedicated to a whole entire railway setup. So
yeah,
she's got quite a fair amount of collection.
Yeah, she's one of those OGs in the way that she does her modeling. But I don't even know what Hornby Duplo is.
The brands of train model train makers. Yeah, so I'm hoping, I'm assuming, I don't know if I'm reading it right, whether it's a mistype, but Duplo was like, or maybe it is Duplo, but maybe I'm getting it wrong. But yeah, Duplo was the alternative kid Lego back in the day.
Wow.
Which they did actually have a whole entire Duplo train that you actually had to build like Lego, and it actually went on the track. You put batteries in. So, but yeah, I said in the UK that they, I know when I was a kid, like model railway stuff was massive. Still is in a way, I suppose. But yeah, there was always used to be a train shop at some point, whichever city you went in.
Yeah, I mean, even now, having a model train set would be one of the coolest things ever. But they're so damn expensive that it's, in fact, like. It's so much money to sink in, and the space that you have to have. Like, people think Gundam take up space.
Oh yeah,
having a whole rail system takes up a whole fucking room. Like, it's crazy. But that's one of those things that I've always wanted. So aside from like an RC boat, I've always wanted a rail system, like a nice little one. And then I went and saw how much it costs to build and make, and I'm like, no, thank you. I'm out.
Exactly. Yeah. When you start going, I want one train. No, you got to add that extra bit of the train. No, that'd be an extra 100. The extra 100. Like,
yeah, it's like I want one train to give you like the first part of the train.
Yeah,
like, exactly. What the hell is this? Oh, so you want the other part? Here's another one.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of it? Oh, you mean all of these boxes that are worth like $1,000 together?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
fuck my wallet, right?
Yeah. Exactly. There's no. Like I said, it's a losing man's game, that one.
Yep. You started before I was even born. That's what Complex Al says. That was way before I even was born. It was just, yeah. But hey, like OGs and a lot of things that we take from that, and the model builders for trains, for cars, for military, that's where everything started. For as much as Gunpla has been around for a while, it hasn't been as developed as when it began as military modeling and other ones were. So
yeah. It's always good to see the influences as we go along. I'm hoping as we get further, with the newer releases of Gundam movies like Hathaway's Flash and everything else, that we start getting a bit more
Hathaway snooze.
Yeah, yeah. I could probably chop that film up into a much smaller version, but yeah, it is. I'd hope like what they're going for with that sort of grittiness, they kind of start bringing into the models as well.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Well, actually, no, saying that, I just realised the new release they did for the Dohan Zaku actually falls straight into that, because it's actually already got all the battle damage and inner frame coming out and all sorts. It's all gritty and everything.
Yeah.
So,
maybe we'll start seeing more of that. Eventually they're gonna have to switch up to do something different.
We hope.
we could.
Even that would be Pinbad though.
A bespoke.pmk says, when I was young, I used to watch the Wing series on TV. One night, Adult Swim was airing Char's Counterattack. I was so hyped that I bought a blank VHS tape and recorded it. I watched it over and over again. I bought my first Gunpla in early 2000s, Force Impulse, then TR5, a Gaplant from Advance of Zeta. I would use Sharpies to add detail. I also bought Freedom and Goof and painted them with enamel paint. Fast forward to 2017, I was at a store with my son in the toy section. My son tells me, "Isn't this those robots you like?" It was a small Universal Century kit. A wave of nostalgia hit me. I bought it and put it together. The whole time I was smiling as it brought back memories. After that, I kept buying kits and building.
Wonderful story.
Nostalgia's a bitch.
Yeah. It'll get you in the end, especially these days.
Yeah, it'll make you do crazy things.
Jeez, wow. Just thinking, like if it wasn't for somebody pointing out in the toy section, you'd have walked straight past that and never done it ever again.
And if your son didn't want Pokemon cards.
Oh, I know. Yes, I mean, it's just amazing. Just that one moment.
One moment.
Flipped everything. Yep.
One moment can change everything in your life. Enthusiast. You want to take the enthusiast one?
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah. So Enthusiast says, I've always been a video game anime model figure fan, even before I knew what anime was. Example, watching Robotech and Voltron on TV. That's everything geeky I kind of enjoyed, especially mechas. So in 1995, I was reading video game magazines. There were ads for mail order companies like Game Cave and Game Dude. In these ads, they showed pictures of games and toys from Japan. I noticed figures called Gundams. And that I thought looked like Optimus Prime due to the samurai helmet motive. Figured they were copying Transformers.
Oh, hell no.
It's easily confused. You know? I mean,
copying Transformers.
It's got legs, arms, and a head. You know? kind of same thing. So into 1996, he finally broke down and got his first kit, the HG 144 Epion Gundam. It was a lot of money, $40-ish, which is like 73 now with inflation, and I was underwhelmed to say the least due to the price. So in 1997, his friend lent him a bootleg VHS copy of Stardust Memory in Cantonese. Couldn't understand what they were saying, but he got the general gist of the show. Not bad for doing it without subtitles. Nice one. So in 2000, this is where my real hardcore exposure of Gundam took place, with Toonami and buying DVDs of everything Gundam. 2001, he got his first MG, the RX-79G, and in 2004, he got his first PG, the GPO-1. Wow, what a big one to get. And the rest, they say, is history. Very eventful, going all the way back to early 90s.
Gundams.
And having a PG GPO one as well. Wow, you lucky man.
Just I love seeing how people begin the hobby. It's all different stories about how we all fall in love with this one thing that we have in common.
It is beautiful. It's just it always seems to be one. I always seem to find it's interesting watching everybody sort of, especially anyone who's got a sort of extended history of like leaving, coming back, and then coming back again, and then
exactly, yeah. It brings you back, man. It'll grab you and bring you back. All right, Death Pull says, I started back in 2018, I believe. Can't remember precisely because time seems to be really flying for me. But I helped out my parents in our small shop in a city on weekends when I was in high school. Still working for them, and back then I was a really quiet kid who was so lost in life from school that I felt drained most of the time. But I never got tired of just being creative. Drawing, sculpting, woodwork, a lot of hands-on stuff was all that motivated me. Then, one day in February, I was exploring a mall I worked at and went into an interesting place called Barnes & Noble. Spotted the H.G. Sananju Stein narrative version. That got my attention real fast. Using a box cutter and a 35 grit sandpaper, it was all I could find and patience took over. Trust me, dude, I completely get it. Completed that kit at 3 a.m. on a work night. Fuck, it's almost the same thing, but it was an amazing experience. After a few months, I got into looking through the YouTube section for more of these kits. First was a Taco Builder. Second was It's a Gunpla, and I was immediately hooked. Nice, dude. Yeah, Barnes and Noble. You remember that? Barnes and Noble. Jeez. I don't even think does it still exist?
Well, I think we've got over. Well, I think the offshoot of it is Waterstones we have over here. But yeah, it's just bookstore that so happens to also stock random other memorabilia. So
just random shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Otago Builder, and It's a Gunpla. I just love how those names come up. Like, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people forget. I want to say maybe, okay, I don't want to generalize, but I feel people forget is that content creators that are big, like, James and It's a Gunpla and others, a lot of the work that they do for the hobby isn't just creating content, but it's like inspiring people to like get into the hobby. Because one of the things that I will always remember of James is when he said during our interview, he said, my main goal is to show other people that this can be done. Like, you don't, like it's something that you can do yourself, which is why his videos are so long, kind of showing his process. And I think that's super important, is inspiring. So I'm just glad that you found those those two content creators that are super into inspiring people. Even if It's a Gunpla believes that he doesn't do it, he always says, no, I don't inspire anyone, but you do. People do. You guys inspire a lot of people. Awesome. Yuki third. First, there's a whole fucking wall of RGs. Do you see that?
He's box collecting. What? I love it.
How many Zetas are there? Are those the same kits? 1, 2, 3. Are those? No, that's 1, 2 Zetas. And
I tell you what's very impressive about that picture is the fact of how he's managed to Tetris some sideways as well.
They just haven't fallen down yet. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to take
he's
that
got
one?
all the RGs.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's a solid collection. Wow. So apparently, Yuki third with the impressive picture backlog. He started with Pokemon models in the late 90s and eventually came across a 144 wing. When they stopped selling in the USA, stopped until early 2010 when buying online got more mainstream. First kits that got me reconnected was the HGUC Jester, the GM Striker, and the GM Sniper 2. Also, this is what happens when you order too much. And
there you go.
Yep, I've fallen into the same trap myself. It's one of those things you keep seeing all the wonderful box art, and you're like, yeah, that'd be lovely. I'll have that one.
The secret to not feeling bad about how many kits you've got is by putting them all in cardboard boxes for moving. That's what I have. They're all in my storage closet, so I don't get to see the wall of shame that probably exists had I taken all of them out. And as DDK20 says, I say the same. Sheesh. Awesome. Awesome picture. Wilson says, I was introduced to Mobile Suit Gundam series at a very young age, 2008, especially with Wing. But being so young, I wasn't able to remember what happened in the anime and what the title of the show was. So it was a forgotten memory. The only thing that I had remembered at the time were the designs from Wing, the Gundam heads, the colors, the weaponry. It was a memory that had remained with me over time. A decade later, when I was watching a lot of anime, I rediscovered the Gundam series, rewatched Wing, and started to watch the UC timeline and other timelines. Watched a bunch of videos related to Gundam and watched a video on Gunpla Mekagai Kotsu. I searched online if there was a place that sold Gunpla locally and found a shop, GYYC, that sold a bunch of kits. Wilson, you're here from you're from Calgary. Awesome. The next day, I went to the shop and got my first kit, HQ1 144th RX-782 Gundam Revive. After building that kit, I became hooked. I bought my first MG Jagan. Okay, I don't know if I agree with that because we all know that Jess does better. Then got MG Armor Gundam Thunderbolt Verka. Shouldn't have gotten it as it's my third kit.
Yeah,
the first,
that's a pretty difficult one.
Yeah, first RG Talkies, then a whole bunch of other kits, and my obsession with the hobby has been growing since. That's super cool, man.
Awesome.
That's super cool, dude. Super awesome.
I'm going to see into like the running theme of Wing coming through here.
That's the thing. Like I was gonna mention that like in the Western side, for as much as I don't really care for Wing, it's hard not to give credit where credit is due, right?
Yeah.
With how Wing has really molded a lot of the people within the hobby, especially in the Western side of the world.
Definitely hit a note with a lot of people. Weirdly enough, I remember my brother being incredibly into it and kept on begging and pleading me to watch it. I had no interest in watching it because it all, at the time, every time I looked at the screen, it was just a bunch of people talking. And to me, it seemed incredibly boring. I was like, why do I want to watch that? And it wasn't until many years later that I retry it and was like, oh, this isn't actually too bad. And obviously there is much better anime now, like much better series, everything else. But yeah, back then it was like, oh, this is actually not too bad. But yeah, I think whatever the designs that they've put into Wing, they are so unique and capture a sort of individuality between each of the different suits that feature in it, that there's always something for everyone in there. Whereas like I think more like the old school stuff, you get the protagonist suit and your rival suit, and then you have all the grunt suits, and usually most people fall in one of the three camps there. But then with Wing is like you've got effectively 5 potential protagonist suits that everyone kind of either goes towards. It's either Wing, or I like Death Scythe, or I like Heavy Arms, and I think there's like that variation. I think that there's something they hit with that in a way I don't think they've kind of had that multiple focus on that I've seen in any other series, because it kind of goes back to the same thing of, oh, here's your main character suit, here's your rival suit, here's your grunt suits. It's usually kind of ends up still sticking with that with the rest of the series. But that one, I think that's where I think it really did hit a note with a lot of people. There was something for someone.
Yeah, for sure. In there. I've never thought about it that way, but it makes a lot of sense. It's so much more, so many more options for people to kind of express themselves from. And it makes sense. My wife is on the chat. She says good vibes, which is the little emoji that she sent. Thanks, honey. I see doubles of RGX and Astray. Yep, I saw those for over here for the Yuki third. Very nice. And then Wilson says the vinyl was a pain. He's talking about the kit, the Epion that he bought. I'm sure it was, dude. Vinyl is never fun to work with on a kit ever. Vanderly, she said Jess. I was about to say yes. Jess. Meg, what's up? By the way, guys, for those watching, next week I will be doing, well, I actually don't know if it's next week, Meg, but we were supposed to do something last week, but I was just super busy. Like, there was just no fucking time at all to do anything, and I didn't want to just half-ass it. So we're going to do a spooky stream, her and I, guys, and hopefully maybe next week or the week after, we'll be doing some ghost videos. We're going to be watching some ghost videos and shit on with the people. It won't be Gundam related. We just want to hang out, and if you guys want to join in, it'd be awesome. It'll be over here on GTS, I think, or I don't know if it'll be on her channel. I don't know. See, we haven't even gotten to the point like where we know exactly where everything's going to go. That's how bad it was gonna be last time. We're just gonna be like half-assing everything.
Let's just chuck it.
But yeah, she says next week's good, so we'll do it next week. I love you, Meg.
Excellent.
I love you, Freddie. My wife says I used to watch Wing on Cartoon Network at night.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
did.
the
It was
best time.
Toonami, dude.
Yeah.
This is when Toonami was the top of its fucking game.
Oh yes.
That's where I watched Kenshin. Was Toonami.
Yep.
Like the amount. Look, how many people in this hobby, in the Western side of the world, cannot at least owe a little bit of gratitude into getting into anime because of Toonami.
Yep. I don't think there is anybody that can honestly say that at some point they didn't watch Cartoon Network, didn't watch Toonami, and didn't gain something from it in some way, shape, or form to pull them into some area. You know what I mean? Like even if it isn't Gundam specifically, any sort of anime. Like, you know, I mean, to be honest, for me, it was like the whole Dragon Ball Z intro caught me. Bang, that was it. Dragon Ball forever. You know, and that just led into everything else afterwards.
Yeah. It's I don't know, man. So many things, so many people shaped by Toonami. Cause someone's flaky. I'm not flaky. I was super busy. I didn't have time to do anything. It was my first full week at my new job. This is my second full week in my new job, and I just want to give it my all. I was telling OldSkill before this how busy we've been this week. Because originally I do these on Monday, and I didn't get a chance to do it on Monday because of how swamped I've been. And I just get home and I don't have the energy to be social on camera. But today I did. So here I am.
Well, you got up early, had your Weetabix, you're all good.
I'm just sucking in all the energy from OldSkill. I need to be less vague with my explanations. Wilson, it's all good, man. All good. Started when I was 7 years old. Oh no, actually, do you want to do that one real quick?
No, I was going to say this is your boy, and I believe you've actually seen his backlog. So
so he actually
shared
a fucking video for you guys. We go. Okay, you guys are gonna get to see some nasty stuff in there. All right, started when I was 7 years old. Built a no-grade F90 HG kit. Went full tilt building Gundams after meeting now my fiance 7 years ago with a pair of custom painted bear guys. They are now fiancés, guys. I don't know if you guys knew, but Derek is now officially engaged to Alina, and Alina to Derek, and I can't wait for their wedding. I don't know if I will be invited, probably not, but I will sneak in there with Tess in some way. But now, without any further ado, guys, the closet of shame. Do you see that? We're gonna replay that one more time, guys. We're gonna replay that one more time.
It's scary because it keeps going.
It just keeps going. In fact,
you think there's one wall, and you think, no, I've got another wall. Yeah.
The amount of fucking kits that he has is incredible. Like, look at his backlog. That is his backlog.
Thing of dreams, that is.
It's. I told you guys it was real. Like you legit need to get a stepping, a little ladder, one of those things that you get like at stores to actually go in there and grab something from a top.
Wow.
I will always remember, like, what was it? I don't remember how long ago it was. I think maybe 7 months ago. I was debating because this was before a bunch of stuff started happening in my adult life, and I was like thinking, what can I build for it to be interesting for the guys, in general, for the peeps over in GTS. And he's like, take your pick, just grab one thing. And I literally had to get on that thing, and I picked one, and I was just scared that if I take one out, the whole thing would fall on me. And that's like $1 million of Gundam in there.
What
and
an
Derek,
amazing backlog, just to kind of go, take what you will.
do you see what he has in, like, just at the end, the last frame? That's a fucking is that a unicorn?
Is that the unicorn? I saw it as well there. I saw
the Verka.
There's Verkas in there. Jeez.
The unicorn PG. I'm almost sure that's the expansion set.
Oh jeez.
He's got a bunch of RGs, Sandrock. He's got a bunch of P Bandais in there. And he's got the full armor Gundam right there. F91 Gundam. He's got everything. Just look at all these fucking kits, dude. It's a store.
Based on your guys' last comments, I assume he's still buying. Is he still adding to it?
The man never stops, dude.
Oh, jeez.
Man never stops. He gets home with the new kit every day. every day he just gets a new kid. No, probably not anymore. I'm pretty sure Alina will kick his ass. But yeah, so he started when he was 7, and now, Derek is 21 and he's still going at it. So
Jeez.
that's the way it works. And yes, J Trong, a step ladder. That's what it was. We legit needed that. Though Kevin probably needed more than a step ladder. He probably needed like 10 step ladders to get up there. But yeah, guys, it's crazy. But I loved hearing everybody's story. That was freaking awesome. It's nice. It's just nice to, like like we mentioned earlier, just seeing how we all fell in love with this thing that we now share in common.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful story. I mean, Derek managed to meet his fiancée out of it. Like, that is already, like, I think a wonderful finale of just like how much it can change your life.
Yep, I agree, guys. We're gonna end the stream here. I know we have the weekly photo contest. I know I was gonna show everybody's thing. I might do that tomorrow, maybe before I leave, because I do have date day with my wife. We're gonna go out, and but I'll try to do it before I leave, and I'll just go over the pictures a little bit. But because I know that over there, OldSkill, it's pretty late. It's 2:21.
It's all right.
And I wanted to.
I'm still alive. It's all good.
Still, you want to do the pictures right now?
Dude, I've got time. Let's roll.
All right, fuck it. We're doing it. We're doing it live, guys. We're doing it live. You heard the man. We're gonna go over and look at the pictures. Then scratch what I said about tomorrow. We're not doing that tomorrow. Let me go back to the other screen. By the way, this computer just runs flawlessly now, so it just feels great. I have the modem set up now right next to my PC, hooked up with Ethernet, so there should be absolutely zero lag in the transmission, which I think is freaking amazing. I'm doing my best, guys, so we can get better content up here. And the next thing on my list is getting my camera 100% now. So the streams will be better. Everything will be better. I promise. But without any further ado, let's go on over to Workspace Photos. Not Workspace Photos. Oh my God, I'm dumb. Weekly photo contest. It's just that. Here we go. Weekly photo contest, where we take the best picture. Guys, remember, it's only one kit per week. So choose which one you want us to pick from. We can't choose from both. It's even mentioned over here. Best photo, only one. But anyway, New Plus says, new week, new picks. Here's an old photo for me. Wait a second. So, Old School, what do the wonderful people from GTS win by winning this little weekly contest?
You get wonderful bragging rights and a wonderful picture displayed on the GTS Instagram channel.
There you go. That's it, guys. I will be rich one day and be able to give you guys things, but as of right now, just bragging rights. So next, we have is Nupla. So I'm almost sure this is a 30-minute mission kit.
Yeah, I think. Wow. Yeah, I think it's quite a combination of them, actually, looking at the picture. Because I think that's standard.
Derek, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this, for obvious reasons.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So remember, guys, the way that we choose the winner for this week is the best photo, best presentation, best kit overall, and that's how we pick it. Last time, the winners we had two winners, which were Hydroponica and Sephiropla. This week, let's see who wins. But so far, it's some pretty strong competition with Nupla and its 30 mission kits. Yeah, Derek, so what do you think of this kit? What do you think of it? Are these guns? Are these guns? Are these guns? Is the back boosters or guns? Everything's just guns. All the guns. Yeah, Derek's like, all the guns. All the damn guns. All right, we're going to give him a little ammo, and he's got little heart faces. Very nice. And then we have Noble Mecha. What is Epion?
Always love Noble's paint jobs.
Yeah, man, the guy has grown so much, and
sorry, he has a partial obsession with metallics like I do, so I'm more partial to his ones.
and with LEDs.
Yeah, definitely. That's the extra added flavor.
Like, he just doesn't. He always adds LEDs, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just like, I love it because you barely see him mention as LEDs,
But
but he does
always
LEDs
there.
every single
Yeah.
time. They're always there. Because I think he did that for his Psycho Zaku.
Oh yeah, that was. I remember
Yeah.
mentioning it's like how many LEDs he ended up having to get just to fill that all in.
It was like 60 or some shit like that.
Yeah,
I
it's
forgot.
crazy amount.
It was a crazy amount. But this is an awesome picture. I actually like this a lot. Noble Mecha. Yeah. And then of course he has the Alex Gundam, right?
Yep. Looks like it.
With the metallic green.
Yep.
Those metallics, man.
But I said that. Like, a man after my own heart. I love metallics as well. So.
Yeah, he has it. I like these pictures. We have to do something about that flash though. No, I've always told you, man. Swear to God, when I see you one day, I'm just gonna be like, no. That was a fire hazard. Derek says about the Zaku that Noble did.
Yeah,
it probably was,
yeah.
dude. That thing was a fucking fire hazard and a half. Awesome pictures though, Noble. Awesome pictures. The next ones we have are for an enthusiast.
Oh, I love that display. That is a
enthusiast. What the fuck are you doing? You're trying to make me jealous. I know exactly what fucking kit this is.
Jeez.
This is the metal new, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I've looked at the rest of the enthusiast's pictures that he's been uploading, he has got a very big collection. So it would not surprise me.
Oh my God. How? Oh my God. You guys don't know. You don't understand how much I want a metal new and a metal Sasabi.
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually. Whatever happened to that? the metal Sasabi.
So we haven't heard anything. We haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
No news has come out again. It's a bleep. Like it just comes out of nowhere and then just goes back down. And then maybe in 6 months we'll hear a little rumor about it. And
I better get my savings plan in gear.
Okay, so my wife is watching. I don't know if she's watching still, but we're 100% like gonna buy a metal new or a metal Sasabi. I just gotta find someplace. Like, I'm not gonna say too much. I don't think I can because Derek will kill me, but hopefully soon in the coming year we have a really cool idea planned where it involves a road trip to a certain place. I know where can I buy. Derek says I know where you can buy metal new in Alberta. It better not be one of those loser guys that I think you might be talking about. But yeah, no, we have a cool thing planned for maybe hopefully next year summer. I know it's a year away, but we gotta get things situated and stabilized. A road trip. So hey, Lucy and Mendoza, vámonos para allá. Vámonos para allá. Para allá. Sorry, my cat was I'm sorry, you guys heard me speak Spanish and the way that I talk to my cat when she pisses me off. She was playing around with some boxes real quick and there's cables in there and I just told her to go away. You guys heard me call her Lucy Mendoza. So but yeah, so Derek, we're 100% planning a trip to a certain place here in Canada to see a certain sponsor here in Canada that may have certain things that we can see. And it'd be super cool to do. But yeah, anyway, enthusiasts, I really want a metal new. Don't tell me your address because I will show up and take it from you. All right, she's doing it again. Give me a second, guys.
Yeah, sorry, dudes. I don't have control of the stream, so you will have to wait until Jess returns, and hopefully on Dronzy B's new older unicorn. Pretty sure we did that last year.
Yeah, this is the Verka, the MGX Verka.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that the highlights that he did or the shading that he did isn't, it's not just gray or black. It's actually purple.
Yeah. A few little extra tints in there. Oh, do love his paint jobs.
Yeah, Droncy. I don't know if you have him on Facebook, but his most recent profile picture on Facebook has got to be one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen.
Oh, I've not seen it. Oh,
I don't know if you even if you use Facebook, but after the show, just in private, I'll pass it over to you.
Okay.
But yeah, Dronzy is super cool. Enthusiast also says, "This is how I believe Xeon forces think of Amuro when his Gundam shows up in battle."
My God.
Is that a Terminator fucking skull?
Head, mate, yeah.
Well, they call Amuro the White Devil, right?
There you go.
It's the White Devil. Yo, Derek, can I say or can I not say the trip that we are planning? Like, can I give out information or can I not say that? I need to know because Derek might kick my ass. Then we have Like Tears in Rain. Ooh, I love this. I love an action shot.
I like that one. Yeah.
I love an action shot. Like, we get a lot of the solo kits.
You know what I like about it most is the fact that it's the Gerber and the GPO3. It's like in that sort of Charles counterattack style. Give a good old punch. I like that.
Good old punch instead of a kick. Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
All right. And then we have Gunpla Exile, who is sharing his Zaku 2 Origin 1.
Love his diorama.
I've always liked it, yeah, his whole it's the
grittiness. I always like it. Yeah. He pulls out.
Oh, so I can. Derek says that I can. Okay, so our main sponsor for the channel, Plamod, they're the main distributors. They're not a retail store, so you can't buy anything from them unless you're a retailer here in Canada. They have a whole warehouse, obviously, because they're the main distributor for Bandai over here in Canada. And in their warehouse, they have a metal new setup because it's only supposed to be brought out for like special events. And they have other things like limited things that just never saw the light of day that we will get to see and record and go through a whole tour on their facilities. And I can't look. We can't do it right now because we have to go all the way to Vancouver, and that requires money to go out and hang out. But that is something that we are planning to do a road trip. Derek, Kevin, me, and my wife and Lena and whoever wants to come in. We might just head on over.
Are you guys going to be vlogging it like you did obviously pre-COVID?
That's the whole plan. Like, I want to do a whole thing where because Brian would also be coming and we would just record the whole way through, even if it's just the guys, and I leave my wife, which I think she'll be okay with. Like, just leave my wife and it's just the guys going out to hang out.
So I'm sure we'll get a nice little short of you sort of pawning over the Metal New.
Oh, the moment I see that, I'm gonna talk to the main head over there and be like, "How much you want for it? How much you want for it, baby? Because I want that thing. I want to go over there with some stacks, just be like, I'm ready." Right.
Let's not just throwing ones at it.
Here are my future children's college funds. I need this. Anyway, I apologize to my future children. Box art pose. Wires have been blurred out using Photoshop. So Magic Mike has been using Photoshop to get rid of his cables. I was gonna say something, but I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I was gonna say same thing, but
are we thinking the same thing? Are we thinking about that event?
We are. Yeah.
I should have just done it during that time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel he's been brutalized into having to use Photoshop to do that. There was no need to. Keep the wires. It's all good.
Girl, I know a store that will sell you a new Jess. Derek, hit me up right now, man. Hit me up right now. Let me know what store it is, because I want that new, or else I'm gonna buy it from Enthusiast, which I'm sure he'd be like, "No, I'm not selling this shit to you because you're piece of shit." I'd be like,
so "I'm sure you can convince him." Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, there you go. After Mike's barber toast, you'll get another shot of Enthusiast.
I'm looking at it right now, dude. He's like, "Here's the money shot."
There we go.
God damn it.
There you go.
God,
see, you just need to get his address. You're all good.
Oh my God. You know, if my wife is still watching, I hope you know, honey, that this means if we get our hands on a new and a Sasabi and the bigger things that we want, because there is another thing that we're getting soon that's really big, we're gonna need a whole room for just Gunpla stuff. when we move out of this place. We're gonna need like a house with 4 rooms. Just one of them is gonna be full Gundam display, and I want to have the metal new in the middle with the metal sauce being. It's just be like the most amazing thing in the world. I don't know this. How can I ask? Enthusiast, how much did you pay for your metal new? Like, if you're willing to tell me. If you're not, that's okay. You can say I'm not telling you. But if you do want to tell me, it'd be cool, because I do know people scalp this thing. Unless you were one of the lucky few who were able to put it in pre-order when it was like 900 USD. I'd love to know how much you paid for it. But anyway, okay. So these are all the pictures. And as always, we will do the voting between OldSkill and I outside of the stream. But I did want to share that with you guys all, and so you guys can get to see your pictures up on screen. And then tomorrow in the afternoon, the winner will be posted over on our Instagram page for a Gunpla Talk Show. So definitely head on over and follow us. I'm going to try to be more active on that. But like I said, I've just been busy. I've been so busy that I haven't taken a break at work. Like, my wife has actually had to message me and be like, "Are you doing okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just working."
Yeah, laser focused.
Yep. $1,400 when I was in Japan in February of 2020. You lucky person, dude. Holy shit. That is actually pretty low.
That is incredibly low, especially for what I've seen it go for.
Yeah, Jeez. That is way low. And I see that you have the fin funnels. Was that including the fin funnel set? Because those fin funnels do not come included with the new. You have to buy extras, and they go like $1,000 a pop. Yeah, just let me.
Funnels. Madness.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, anyway, OldSkill, thank you so much for being part of the show, man, today.
Always a pleasure and an honor. Thank you very much for letting me on.
Oh, for sure, man. My pleasure to have you on. It's awesome always talking to you. And guys, everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much for joining in. Thank you for making GTS fun, having these conversations with you on the chat. I think it's a way better thing nowadays. No, the fins were $600 each for me. Look at that.
Jeez.
Each. Holy God!
My wallet just jumped out my pocket.
Yeah, it's just like, holy
ouch,
fuck.
Ouch. Ooh.
But yeah, guys. Hey, guys. So remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. I think we're like 3 subscribers away from reaching 2,200 subscribers. That'd be really cool if we could get there. Remember to leave a like to combat the trolls that dislike the videos immediately. It'd be super awesome that you guys did that. And follow us on Instagram and be part of the GTS Discord channel, of course, so you guys can talk to amazing people like OldSkill. Other than that, guys, this is me signing off and OldSkill signing off. We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. See ya.